Ever wondered why so many promising medical treatments that work perfectly in mice just fail in humans? For decades, mice have been our go-to models for testing new drugs and understanding diseases. But what if I told you these tiny test subjects are far more sensitive and unreliable than we ever imagined? The truth is, the results we get from them are being skewed by things we barely even notice. Let's start with something you'd never expect: the person in the lab coat. Studies have shown that mice handled by men show less pain than those handled by women. The effect is so strong that just the *** of a man's T-shirt is enough to trigger a stress response that dulls their pain. Even a cardboard cutout of a person can make a mouse hide its discomfort. This means the gender of the researcher can completely change the outcome of a pain study. And it gets wilder. You could take genetically identical mice, raise them in labs across the world under supposedly identical conditions, and still get wildly different results. Their body weight, stress levels, and even behavior will vary significantly from one facility to another. Why? Because of tiny, invisible differences in the air, the microbes, and the microclimate. The environment of the lab itself has a bigger impact than the standardized procedures researchers tried to follow. Think about their homes, the cages. Just adding a small toy can lead to larger, healthier litters. The depth of their bedding can change the size of their organs in just a few weeks. Even where the cage is placed on a shelf matters. Mice on the top rack, closer to the lights and vibrations, are more stressed and have weaker immune systems. They can be exposed to 80 times more light than their neighbors on the bottom shelf, completely altering their biology. And speaking of light, mice are supposed to be nocturnal. But even dim light at night, the equivalent of a TV screen in a dark room, can disrupt their metabolism and cause them to overeat, much like sleep deprivation does in humans. We also keep their rooms at a temperature that's comfortable for us, around 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. But for a mouse, that's like living in a constant state of chilly stress. This cold stress forces their metabolism into overdrive and can even make tumors grow faster, throwing a massive wrench into cancer and immunology research. What about their food? You'd think mouse chow is standardized, right? Wrong. The recipe for the same standard diet has changed over the years. Plus, the grains used can contain unpredictable plant-based compounds that mess with their hormones. And get this, mice actually eat their own bedding. They can consume over a gram of wood chips a day, which completely changes their gut bacteria and messes with metabolic studies. Finally, there's a huge bias in which mice are even used. About 80% of preclinical studies use only males, completely ignoring the fact that male and female bodies often react differently to drugs. Remember Ambien? It was found to affect women more strongly because initial tests were mostly on men. It has a massive blind spot that leads to drugs failing or having unexpected side effects when they reach human trials. So what does this all mean? It means our trusty lab mouse model is standing on shaky ground. These subtle, uncontrolled factors, from the researcher's gender to the cage's location, are creating a crisis of reproducibility. We're basing billion-dollar decisions on data that might not be reliable. To truly find cures that work for people, we need to look beyond the cage and embrace more human-relevant systems like organoids and advanced computer models. It's time to evolve our science to better reflect the one species we're trying to save: us. Thanks for watching. If you found this eye-opening, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.